Hi guys, welcome to ETland, and today we are going to look at the RG35XXH from Anbernic. I don't know why they have to make it so complicated for the name, but yes, it is, and this is actually my first Anbernic device. To be clear, this is a unit supplied by Elite NXT. They do not have any money exchange with me, and they do not review my video beforehand. All the opinions are genuinely coming from my mouth and heart, and I will say whatever I like and don't like about this device. So here I just did the unboxing. You see that it is just a very generic kind of Chinese handheld. You only have a USB-C cable inside the box, and you also have a screen protector. This device is plug and play. As long as you turn on the power button, you can just get into the system and play. So it is very easy, and I would recommend it for anyone who do not have any prior knowledge on retro gaming or any kind of handhelds. Why I'm saying this right in the beginning is that last winter, I gave my Retro Pocket 2 Plus to my father, and he had no idea how to use it, even though I have set up all the front end and all the shortcuts and whatever. But he just said it is so difficult for him to use because it is not turn on and play. It was not intuitive, and that was too hard for him. So I can see that why Anbernic devices are selling so well, because it is just turn on the power and play. That is, you don't need to set up anything, everything is pre-configured for you. So yeah, at the first glance, this is just an easy recommendation for anyone who does not have the prior knowledge on any handhelds. But hey, this is ETland, you don't come here for shallow videos. We are here to explore every possibility of this device, and I don't care whether its selling point is easy to use or not, because we are tech savies and we want to know every single inch of this device. Alright, so we are slowing down here to put on my screen protector that comes with the box. And why we are slowing down here is that this is my first dislike. Like, why do you have to make a screen protector that doesn't have enough protection to the screen? If you look at the screen protector, it is not a fully covered screen protector. There is like a 0.5 gap from the screen protector, so you're not going to get a complete protection no matter how you are trying to put it. And I don't know, like it's just a little bit not comfortable to look at when you see that it is not completely covering the screen. I mean, this is not about the device, I understand, but you can just easily make a screen protector that fits perfectly. Like, I think this is probably coming from another handheld and they just decided to reuse it, maybe, I don't know. But it could be a lot better if you are making a complete covering screen protector for the devices. Well, but I think it is still going to protect my screen to some extent, so let's put it this way and try to ignore it. Okay, so when you turn the device, you can see that there are some white dots at the back. Yeah, this one, you can see that there are some kind of dust or dirt inside the case. I've never opened it, and this is right after the unboxing, so I'm pretty sure it is done during the production. And I would see that as some kind of QC problem, because you know, like this kind of clear shells are very obvious. Here comes my third dislike, which is my last dislike actually. I mean, the UI is so ugly. Look at this goodbye scene. Like, why are they making such an ugly UI? They can put some kind of resources, like to reduce one of the new models, and they will have the resources to make a new UI and just make the whole user experience a lot better, but they just don't. And since I hate the stock OS UI a lot, I decided to try this latest build of CFW. And I just learned that this is actually a dirty word in Swedish. So let's just be a good girl and don't say it out loud. This OS was still in alpha build when I was filming this footage, and it was hidden behind a paywall on Ko-fi. So if you don't want to pay anything and don't want to mess up anything, you can just take a look at my footage and get a sense of what it can do and maybe consider to use it in the future. But what I can tell you is that it is actually quite nice. I mean, most of the configurations are good. I will talk about Koreki later on, but basically I like this one better if you compare both Botazera builds. And there are some known issues. For example, we cannot use the internal storage and the SD card together, and some save are not going to work, and sometimes the sleep mode is not going to work. I also could not find the moonlight streaming service on it, but those are the things that I encounter. Basically, you can download the themes for Botazera just like the other builds, and for example, you can look at here. I'm playing Game Boy Advance, and I can just choose it and play. Stardew Valley was another reason why I wanted to try this OS. However, when I downloaded this OS, the port master was removed from the Discord server, and there is no way for me to run the Stardew Valley here. So it's being said that there will be a more stable build of the port master being released together with the OS later on, but currently we can't play Stardew Valley with that. And then I also tried Koreki, which is the other Botazera build of OS, and I gotta say I didn't really like it, and I'll explain why. But maybe that's because I tried the previous one first, and this is my second OS, my third OS to try. So I think I already have some impression of how it is supposed to be, but the thing that I didn't like the most is that first, the booting time is like super long. It is longer than that of the previous one, and every time when I have to exit the games, it is going to go through that boot time over and over and over again. So I think that is a little bit tedious. And the other thing is that the control is swap, so it is not in Nintendo style, it is in Xbox style. Maybe this is not a problem for people from the US, but to me, I really don't like this kind of controller mapping. So I tried to reconfigure it, and it was a mess. I mean, if you reconfigure it here, first of all, like, it is written as south, east, north, west. I had no idea that means A, B, X, Y, or face button, whatever. And I have to remap it over and over. And after I figure that out, actually this is going to be a mess for in-game experience, because it is going to require you to remap every single thing. Especially for drastic, it is not going to work at all, and I'm going to show you why and how. I'm sorry that this footage does not look very good because I was filming it at a hotel during my business trip, and it may look a little bit dark, but anyways, yes, I brought it to my business trip, and it was a good companion because it was so light and just, you know, you can pick it up and turn it on to play. But yeah, that OS loading time is just so long, and I was a little bit regret, and I should have used the Sork OS instead of the Koreki, because, you know, it also took me some time to turn it on. On top of it, every time I try to save the current configuration, it just said there is an error and I couldn't do it. So what I have to do is to save the configuration in the core, for the core, I mean. So for example, I have done the saving here, and I can use A button obviously, and this is for S and ES, so that was okay. But then when I wanted to go to another game, then I'll have to exit it, right? So pressing exit and getting out of RetroArch is actually something that is a problem as well, because when I get into another game, sometimes the configuration are gone, and now I'm going to use GBA as an example. I previously set the menu button as the shortcut, but it won't work. So the shortcut is going to be start and menu and A, and then I'll have to reconfigure everything. Like, why would someone configure that the menu button to be the menu and B button? I don't understand. Like, it just make the experience a lot worse, and then I'll have to remap every single button. And I've done this over and over and over to try to make it work. I can map it, of course, and then after saving it, it may work, and for most of the time it just doesn't work, and there is something preventing you to save the configuration. So every time I save the configuration, it is going to be lost, or even if that works for one game, when I swap to another game, I have to do it all over again. So here is an example. I just save every configuration for the keys, I map all of them, and then I saved it before I exit the RetroArch for the core. And so here you can see I also map the menu to the menu button. Everything is working, and I can toggle the menu like that. And I save the current configuration, then I left RetroArch, and then I load up another Game Boy Advance game here. So in the same logic, I should be able to turn on the menu with the menu key because I've already mapped it, but no, I have to use the original configuration coming with Koreki. So this is so messed up, and I really do not recommend anyone to use it just for aesthetic, because there are so many problems with the control. The same issue happens with Drastic, but I don't have the footage here. But basically you have to remap everything, but what is different is that Drastic allows you to save the configuration, so that is for God's sake a lot better. But for any games that are going to run with RetroArch, you are not going to be that lucky. Understand that there are still plenty of space for both custom firmware to improve over the time. And if you want to know what kind of functions that are not available on these two OS, I'll tell you. First, you are not going to be able to use Moonlight for streaming. I don't know whether you're going to use it, but yes, that's something you don't have. And second, there is a latest update for the stock firmware adding a video player on it, and that is also not going to be on these two OS. Also, the boot time is quite long, especially for Koreki. The other one is actually a lot shorter, which I see that it is a lot more promising. And all these menu buttons and key mappings are doing better on the first one. So if you are asking me, I would say wait till the official release of the KNULLI OS, and then you'll be able to have a better experience. But for now, I would rather stay with the stock OS because it is first most stable, and second, you don't have to figure anything because it's already there, and third, if you want to use some extra functions like reading ebooks, watching videos, and doing streaming with Moonlight, then you know all the functionalities are there. But if you want to play Stardew Valley like later on, I mean, just wait for KNULLI to have their official release later. And yes, now we are going back to the stock OS. I can't believe I really go back to this because I really hated it in the beginning and I thought other OS is going to be better. But well, after all the testing, I just find this to be the most stable one and the most easy to use. Although it looks a little bit lame, but yeah, everything works out well. I mean, for example, look at this DS game, it is going to work well as well. And one thing that surprised me is that even though the DS screen is so small here, it actually looked quite crispy and clear. So this is one thing that I like about the RG35XXH is that the screen is good. So basically you have no problem playing most of the DS games because they have lower requirements, and you really don't have any problems with the game speed and stuff. But if you want to adjust things, then you probably have a hard time because the settings is going to be so tiny that you probably couldn't see it clearly. But anyways, everything is just going to work better on the stock OS. And in terms of some PSP games as well, I do not play things like God of War or like anything that is so high-end on PSP, because when I was younger, when the PSP released, I was more focused on like Taiko no Tatsujin or like No More Heroes Allowed It. Of course I do play Monster Hunter 2G and 3rd, but I don't want to play it here because it will look so stretched and weird. But if you are looking for 2D games, it is kind of okay. I mean, this game here, no problem. And I can tell you, I have spent a whole lot of time playing No Hero Allowed It on this device. I mean, I did the same on Odin 2 or Tried, but because of the joystick location and the size, it was tough for me. But on this device, everything is reachable. It is a lot easier for me to play, and I do enjoy it a lot. I mean, there is no slowdown or stuff. You just have some graphical issues if you look at the upper land. If you look at the top of the screen here, you can see that there are some wrong graphics there, but it doesn't affect the gameplay at all. So it's just that. And of course I won't like recommend anyone buying this device for PSP. Obviously you are going to get a straighter screen, and you are not going to get good performance on higher end PSP games, and it is going to be stuck at 1x resolution anyways. But if you are going to play some lighter games like this, or if this is the only game that you enjoy on PSP, then obviously this will work for you. And of course I gotta try Taiko no Tatsujin, and I can tell you that it works flawlessly. It's just like because of the copyright reason I can't show you the audio, but the audio is good also. I know it's a little bit weird to talk about the controller of this device at this time of point. I mean, it is almost the end of the video, but that's because the controller is too meat. What I mean too meat is that it is not going to be the best controller that you have ever used, but it is not bad. It is a little bit hard, but not hard enough for me to complain about it. So does the D-pad. It is a little bit stiff, and in comparison to the Odin 2 is going to be like a lot more stiffer, but it is not like uncomfortable, and it is totally usable. I don't have any finger pain or something after using it for a long period of time, so it's okay. It's not like something you would complain about, but it's not like something that you would praise about, so that's why I completely forgot to talk about that. The other thing I like about the RG35XX is that it has two joysticks, so if you are going to do some streaming, it is going to make a lot more sense than using those devices without any joysticks, because obviously for those modern games you need those joysticks. And I'm not going to say like streaming on this device is practical at all, because first you are going to have a super stretched screen, and second the resolution is not going to be good, and third the Wi-Fi chip is not good anyway, so it's not going to be a fast and smooth experience anyway. But it is also cool to look at a cheap device to have the ability to play Moonlight, so that you can stream anything from your PC. Playing things like Stardew Valley will be completely fine because it is going to be a lower pixel game with like less requirements, and you know, the whole screen is not going to be complicated and you're not going to overwhelmed by the UI. So even though it is streaming, it is okay. But of course, I would rather play the Podmaster version once it comes out with the new OS. But you know, this is the current way that we can play Stardew Valley. And I also, because I'm curious, tried to play Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, this is just a straight no because you can tell the text is just too small to read, and it is actually quite laggy. It is not as laggy here, but if you're going to go to the village or inside Hogwarts, it is going to be too laggy. And I don't know, the right joystick is not going to function very well. Is probably because one of the reasons is because the time lag that we are getting from the Wi-Fi chip. So I don't think these kind of games are going to be enjoyable for anyone to play if you are looking at the streaming quality on this device. I also tried streaming some emulation from my PC to this device, and I can tell you it is not gonna work. The reason why it's not gonna work is that even though you are using EmuDeck on your PC, that it will allow you to use this different kinds of emulators and use your key on this device, it doesn't detect the right screen for you. So it's going to be keeping at this black screen, and even though my PC is loading the game, it is not going to sense which window is correct. So you're just going to be stuck here, and the only way to get out is to turn on to restart your device. So yeah, I wouldn't say streaming to this device is a practical thing to do, but I also think it is super cool to do so. Anyways, this video is getting super long and I want to make a conclusion here, and then I will make some follow-up videos with this device. First of all, I think it is an easy recommendation for anyone who really don't have any knowledge on retro gaming and want to play some retro games. I mean, depends on where you buy it. You are going to buy it at around $70 to $90, depends on the options and stuff. And well, you are going to get 12% off by using the code ETLAND on Leeds NXT. But anyway, if you are not going to buy from them, you can also find it from other places. It's very easy to obtain because you can just find it everywhere and is not going to get out of stock that easily. And I would say, since it is so easy to get, I don't mind using it as a casual device. I mean, I don't have to be very careful about it, even though I may damage it or I may lose it. I won't feel very bad about it because it's just so easy to get and you can just set it up like in a second because you don't have to do anything. So I would say it's a good companion when you have to wait for a line or wait for a bus, whatever. You just grab it from your pocket easily, and when you're done with it, you just put it back to your pocket and that's it. I mean, that's actually a relief to me because for most of my handhelds, I treasure them a lot and I find them so premium that I need extra protections, but this one, I can use it more carelessly. This device is the only device that I can see as a direct competitor to the Mio Mini Plus. There are many good things about the Mio Mini Plus, but there are also things that this device is doing better, and I'm going to make a separate video to talk about that. But generally speaking, you are probably going to get them at the same price range. Of course, it depends on where you get it and what kind of option you're buying, but they are very close in terms of price. However, there are more functionality to this one, but you will get a better experience with View Mini Plus. So I will leave that in my next video for the comparison, and I want to keep this video like this now. I'm sorry that my voice is a little bit weird this time because I've been working a lot recently and I just kind of damaged my throat. So yeah, it's a little bit tough for me to make a new video because speaking is also something that makes me feel very uncomfortable now because of my throat. But anyways, I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.